A&M with a 4th and a 5th as we get ready now for the 3rd and final heat of this 1,500 meters. And there is your SEC indoor champion at the mile. Just a freshman at Florida, Parvesh Khan.
And he already advanced to the finals of the 800, now looking to also do that in the 1,500, a dual threat for the Gators program. And in talking to the coaching staff at University of Florida, distance coach Will Palmer said that it's a new challenge for him doing the 8 and the 15. It really prepares him and gets him sharpened up headed into the NCAA championship calendar because he had not raced a ton. Also taking a look here at Auburn and Max Harden, who was part of the runner-up DMR for the Tigers indoors. Gabe Scales of Ole Miss, a finalist previously, the SEC Indoor Championships. As I mentioned earlier, always a host of Ole Miss athletes in the 1,500, a very strong tradition, the 1,500 that they have for the Rebels. Going to call him back there. Also in this field, Yassine Abdallah, who was 3rd in last night's 10,000 meter championships. Told you that there were 4 athletes for Tennessee aiming to make the final, so a big event for them.
The bubble remains at 3:47.52 because of how slow that second heat was, so these athletes know exactly what they need to do. And if that pace lags, they know they've got to be in the top 3 or face elimination. 13 runners in this 3rd and final heat. There are your lane assignments, competitors on the left side of the screen. And we've watched him a few times. Parvesh Khan loves to just lay back, see what develops in front of him, stay out of trouble, and then make an amazing recovery over the last 300. And what does he do? He goes right to the front.
Well, it's a little bit too risky. I think he saw what happened in those first 2 heats. He also had to throw down a big kick. He has that within his repertoire and is able to, but it was really a little bit too close, or not too close, but not close enough to be comfortable when he advanced in the 800 in his heat. So certainly leaving nothing to chance, doing a great job of getting it all the way up front, keeping it honest because he's trying to get his teammate in there too. Joe Webster is in this preliminary heat, and in talking to Florida coach Will Palmer about Parvesh Khan, he said he believes in his ability, really does a good job of not getting rattled in race situation, and he has enjoyed a big improvement from the indoor season. Just his tactical awareness is really coming along, but certainly still learning. 59.5, that first 400 meters led by Parvesh Khan.
Yeah, that's a very honest pace that he is setting, but he's also doing all the work and buffeting all the wind. Followed behind by Max Harden, the freshman, so 2 freshmen up front. Parvesh Khan, an athlete certain to be seen at the Olympics in Paris for his home country of India.
National record holder for India is Parvesh Khan. Also in great position is Max Harden. He was 3rd at the Florida Relays, running a personal best on this very track. So he loves to run and compete here in Gainesville. That is Edward Bird, also the freshman from Kentucky, who fights his way up to the front.
Also Andres Gardos of Texas A&M, another freshman up there. You see them with the white compression socks on his arms. So a lot of youngsters rebuilding the program, coming in and making an impact in the middle distance races here in the SEC.
Big burst from Yassine Abdallah to fight his way into the conversation as well.
He's ancient. He's a junior.
At least in this field, right?
Yeah.
Really gritty, gutsy race from him in the 10,000 last night to take a top 3 finish. Looking at Parvesh Khan, this last lap is typically where he is at his very best. And the opportunity for him to double, the decision was made because Florida feels they have a really strong men's team, but when you have a guy who is at that caliber willing to do both, sets a really good tone for everybody else for the weekend.
Well, Parvesh Khan has managed to back himself into a box. He is an excellent tactician. Look, he makes the move laterally already and gets himself out of trouble, but he's back in 5th, and he did all the work in the first 2/3 of that race. Now this is what he's used to doing, being back in 5th and making the move, and he set an outstanding pace. You'll probably get time qualifiers out of this heat.
The lead has changed about 4 times stretch. Everybody is bursting up to the front as we take a look. That's Hardin right now leading for Auburn.
Khan coming back. Abdallah trying to find a spot.
The showmanship to the crowd.
A little Steve Ovett down the finishing straight for Parvesh Khan, working maybe a little harder than he actually needs to. Hardin, also an automatic qualifier. I'm not sure if Yassin Abdallah was able to get up there. We look at the times, which are way superior to the last two heats. Hardin is in. Gillen of Ole Miss is in. Abdallah is in. As may Joe Wester might be in as well. Parvesh Khan may have pulled his teammate into the final.
Try to tell me the distance events aren't exciting at this meet. Look at the execution of Parvesh Khan on the closing lap. I said that lead had changed about 4 times in the final 300 meters, but the one that mattered was this one. Waits for that final turn. Look how confident he is. You think anything is going to bring the crowd in Gainesville to their feet? Quite like that as he goes out into lane 2, calls to the crowd, throws up the number 1. No, he has it in the bag. He is one to watch in the 1500 and the 800 meters for the Gators.
I'm not certain that he endeared himself to his competitors with that move, but he certainly wowed the crowd. Parvesh Khan through to the final in the 1500 and in the 800 from yesterday. There are your advancers, at least half of them. There'll be 12 altogether, and let's take a look and see what it took to get into this final.